Ooh, that was aggressive today. Oh.
Yeah.
It was silky smooth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good morning, good evening.
Good afternoon and good night.
Welcome back.
Y'all didn't leave anything for me to say.
We ate. Sorry. Left no crumbs. You're welcome.
Period.
Anyway, I'm Channy.
Well, first of all, you can welcome the people there.
Oh, welcome to another episode of Code Switchin Naturally. I'm Channy.
I'm AJ.
I am motherfucking tired.
Correct. Oh my God. No, you right. Yeah.
So things have.
Pause. You gonna get enough. You gonna get enough. I'm coming at him and how he want to say his names and how he say his names at the beginning of these episodes. You gonna get enough, okay? At first, I was like, all right, now she feels that way. She how it's a little hard, it's a little rough, but girl, you ain't used to this by now.
I'm gonna be upset about it. I said in the beginning I was gonna be upset about it every time.
It's true.
I need you to suck that shit up. Suck it up.
I won't.
Will not.
Suck it up because he gonna do what he gonna do.
And I'm gonna keep being upset every time.
Okay.
I said what I said.
Okay, but don't be that's rude.
This is lovely. This is.
You want to fight about it?
I do want to fight you today.
Because here's the thing. Because it's about me. You know how she is.
We can fight about it.
And you know we will.
And I will still love Q.
And I will still love you.
Yeah.
So
well,
it's all good.
Yeah.
But just don't play by him. Period. Okay?
There was no T, so it's not like the hard aggression, but it's like still a little aggressive. You just saying.
Oh, no, that was full aggression. The T kind of take the aggression off of it a little bit because then they make it comical. Because I'm like, period. Why would I do that?
Kevinder.
Kevinder.
So
why do you have to sound so bougie? Kevinder.
It's a Medea thing. Don't even worry about it. Kevin.
Oh.
There you go.
There it is. It clicked. Haha. Welcome to the.
That was it.
You can't get one. You can't get one. You
Uh-huh.
can't get
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, so back to what you were saying. I'm sorry, because I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I was saying. Oh right. Oh, the thing. So. Oh, God.
The thing.
Yeah, it's real rough when you're in a job that you hate.
Yeah, it is. It gets there.
And things have sort of changed in my current work situation. Like, my job's safe, but the vibes are different. Not bad, just not for me. And they were already really not for me. So we're not loving the situation. I am actively looking for other stuff, but that is a chore. And again, I'm motherfucking tired. Are you okay?
I smacked myself in the face with a microphone.
Listen, I mean, I did it. Remember? Bonk.
No, you didn't smack yourself. You just depended on it for your security.
You let it support you.
It was your support.
I mean, there was a little bonk. There was a little boop.
No, you literally placed your head. You said, yep, I'm just going to tap this. That's what it's going to be.
Little bonks, just little tiny boop, boop.
I don't even remember what episode that was, but it was hilarious. Yeah. Just,
Are we ready for the L of the week?
No.
That's fair.
I haven't recovered from last week, so but go for it.
That's fair. So we've decided, and by we I mean I have decided that the L of the week is going to be my section now. And this week we're going to talk about the fucking weather. So it's February, almost March. I don't know if you can see it. My fucking arms are out. You know why? Because the sun has been saying hello for the last couple of days, when just a few days before that, it was going, might chilly out, isn't it? I would really love for this state to make up its fucking mind on what weather it wants to be. Florida
I
is.
am gonna say I am about to burst into a ball of flames. And before you question my long sleeve shirt, I am naked under here. If you can't tell.
So she was like, she can't, just have all that.
I
for the.
are tittying, but you don't need to see all of the tittying, okay?
I for sure was about I was gonna wear a long sleeve shirt, and then I went outside and I was like, oh bitch, no.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. And like goodness knows what it'll be later on this evening.
It's supposed to be a high 86.
Oh.
It's currently 83.
Oh, lovely. Well, see, here's the thing. That is never really a guarantee because you can go from high 80 to a low of 33.
This is true.
With this
especially before Florida is just as bipolar as I am, and that is problematic.
That was supposed to be funny.
It is funny.
It was absolutely
It's
supposed to be funny,
hilarious.
and it was.
Because I get it. Oh my god.
Correct.
I only have so many outfits that I can wear, and layers are not my friend because
we don't like layers.
For one, I'm a sweaty boy, just base model. So adding any layers on is going to add to that.
Standard edition.
Right.
Oh,
so
wait, first pause. Okay, I got quick story time. Pull over. We still about the weather.
Mm-hmm.
So me and my mother have different body temperatures.
Mm-hmm.
I am a ball of flames. I am the basement. The muggy, sweaty one that ain't got no circulation. Mm-hmm. That's just me. My mother is the attic where it's extremely cold all the time. Yesterday, my room was 83 degrees. Mm-hmm. So I said, let me go turn it down one. It's 73 degrees in the house. That's too hot for me.
That's way too hot.
That's too hot for me. She was like, you turned it down? I said, you cold? She's like, yes, I'm cold. It's cold in here. Mind you, she in the living room with the fan going.
Okay, turn the fan on.
Right, turn the fan up.
I was like, it's always cold down here. It's amazing down here. I wish my room was down here.
Because then you'd actually have good temperature. Your room is
so hot.
It's abysmal.
It's so hot in there.
You just walk in and you're it's like a sauna in here. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not good.
It's hot with a hard H.
Mm-hmm. It's hot. So, Florida.
Yes, please.
Florida.
Get it together.
I I know that you have hot and not hot, but I would like for you to choose when those seasons are.
I shouldn't feel like I'm scraping past Satan's sweaty balls.
In February.
In February.
Also, don't then go from Satan's sweaty balls to colder than a well digger's ass. That is where you got me all the way fucked up.
I feel like heat mice and snow mice will be having real big arguments, and then
here in Florida,
they be having big arguments because snow mice will be wanting to give us a break from all the heat, but heat mice will be like, no, fuck y'all.
Right.
I own Florida, bitch.
Right. This is,
and I don't think that's
it's Sunshine State, bitch.
See, except for when it's not, which is also a thing. Well, it depends on the weather. I'm sorry, it depends on the day. Depends on the hour of said day.
True.
Because regularly, you'd be like, sunny, rain, sunny.
We get rain for 30 minutes. And it's downpouring, and then it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, except during the winter.
Sure, that's when it's rain constantly, and that's when the cold comes in, and then the next day is hot again, and that's when the swamp happens.
I hate that.
Because it goes rain, cold, hot. Everyone's walking in soup.
Florida during that time period feels like a muggy vagina.
Make up your mind. No muggy vaginas.
What the fuck?
Is what I guess Channy is saying. I'm not going to talk about the,
I don't know nothing about no vagina.
I'm not going to talk about the humidity of your vaginal areas. That's not my ministry.
I'm sorry.
I don't know nothing about no vagina. So they ain't got nothing to do with me. I know about mine and she works just fine. That's all I know. That's all I'm posting on.
I mean, I know swamp ass because that just happens with everybody.
Okay.
But
let's get off this topic. So anywho, are we good with any?
I'm not sure. It's still boiling. Like the fucking weather. Okay, now I'm done.
Well,
I'm fine.
So how do you pivot?
How do you transition?
Where do we go from here?
Here's a question. Mm-hmm. What is New Age spiritualism? What is that? Do you guys consider that?
I honestly have. I don't know.
It's a lot of things.
Right.
It's a lot of things that means different things to different people. It is how you identify with the divine or just the spiritual energies of the world.
I feel like we only call it New Age per se is just because a lot of these practices that people call New Age spiritualism are actually very, very old practices.
Correct.
It's just that people are just now returning to them because they found that these practices help them more than the practices that we've been using. So like, it's not necessarily like New Age.
Some of them are.
Some of them are. I will
are.
say some of them definitely are. But a lot of them are really old practices.
Right. So.
I'm sorry. I thought it was a bug, so I had to shake my hair to make sure I wasn't tripping. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
So a lot of, like you said, the New Age spiritualism is just people finding old practices and bringing them into the New Age. However, I found, and TikTok has definitely shed a light on a lot of this. A section of New Age spiritualism is people stepping away from the church while still following faith, like while still following God.
I think people are finding new ways to find God for themselves.
Well,
Find it.
no, I found it.
Okay.
I'm trying to say it nicely.
Okay.
Or people are just doing what God did when he walked the earth in the first freaking place. Because God wasn't preaching in synagogues. God wasn't.
You tore them hoes down?
He wasn't a person that spread his message. And then what I'm discovering is the messages that we've been taught of what God came here to do is not what God's message was for us in the first place.
Very true.
And because of that, a lot of people are leaving the church because the construct or the systems of church is not the system of God. And our generation is really like questioning every single thing. And the old school church is just like, oh, that's not of God. No. What you're doing is not of God.
Right.
And I think for me personally, when it came to my step away, my step away from the church was I don't want to follow after religious dogma. Like, it feels like you're putting God in this box of rules that you just have to, you do this, you do that, you do this, and then the reason you do this is because that's how you tell God that you love God. And I personally didn't think that God was just a set of rules to live by.
No, but also your love for God is in your obedience.
Right. It's obedience to what God says, but it is not a rule book.
No.
And I think when my personal experience with the church was just a whole bunch of rule book, just a whole bunch of rules. And I had no actual connection or relationship with the God. And I had to go find that for myself.
And it's the rule book, as at least, with church, it's the rule book as given to the people by man.
The people.
By man, correct.
And for me, the reason why I stepped away is because I needed to discover what is it that God actually designed? What was the original design that I was supposed to be obedient to? Because I can't keep following this idea that was interpreted by man and then given to men.
Right.
So this is interesting that this is a topic that we have right now. So, I go to church virtually because I don't live in Tulsa. The lesson right now is kingdom, like D-U-M-B. And he's he's teaching us the true message of the kingdom. The mantra of the year is Kingdom, the Rise of a Holy Rebellion. And he is challenging every piece of theology you can think of. And it's inspiring to see, but you also see God in it, because he don't care if the church get mad or what they gonna say about his preachings or his teachings. Like, it just is what it is. But some of the things that we've talked about so far is we've never seen the kingdom, so we settle for church. And then
that's very true. I mean, if you go back to original design was Eden, and the rule that he gave was just don't eat the fucking fruit. Was love God, love people, basically.
Right.
And then don't eat the fruit, and then we messed that up. Well, Eve messed that up. I wasn't Eve.
And this is the biggest thing that's just, he said, kingdom is not religion. The kingdom does not say do this. It says be this.
Right.
So if God is just telling me to be, what does that look like? And how do you figure out what that looks like without seeking him in the first place?
Right.
Not seeking the construct, but seeking him. And I feel like he also said we have preached the message of Jesus Christ, but not the message Jesus Christ preached.
Yeah.
And it was, I think it's Matthew 4:17, because all he said was, Matthew 4:17. This was his first ever message to the people. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. That's it. And then I learned this. Have we ever, it's been a while since I've actually just sat down and dissected the Bible, but do we realize that he always taught in parables?
Of course, yeah.
Like, he never just straight out said, hey.
It was never do this, do that. However, growing up for me, what I experienced was just do this, do that.
Because I realized he wants your choice. He doesn't want your fear. And the church has a bad habit of teaching us fear. Like, we have to fear God. I fear God because I don't want to not be in his will. I don't fear God because I'm afraid that I'm going to hell if I don't follow these set of doctrines that was created by somebody who didn't get what they want in the first place.
Right.
Like, that's not my issue.
It sounds like what your fear is based on truly seeking after God, instead of seeking after what does God want me to do.
Correct.
And that's what it and I feel like that's probably the better way to do.
It used to be that. It used to be like until I absolutely began like evaluating and searching for God in a different way. It used to be, what does God want me to do? Like, I can't hear God because I don't know what he wants me to do. Like, I don't know. But once I turned off the what does he want me to do and focused in on, well, how does he want me to pursue him? It like completely changed my thought pattern about like spirituality, and because I don't consider myself religious. I give a damn about a set of rules. I don't listen to the rules, no way.
It's true.
I've always been taught that rules were meant to be broken. So like, So
I mean, I ain't that bad. I ain't okay.
What I mean by that is if you have like you just have a general set of rules that you're supposed to abide by.
Because the 10 Commandments are the only set of rules God actually gave.
It's
us.
the only rules that anyone ever gave. So like the other sets of rules, that you just
So in the New Testament, he said,
scratch that.
Scratch that.
He literally said, scratch that. Love God, love people.
Right.
And then he taught what was love.
Love God and love neighbor as yourself.
And God is love. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why I be having to pray sometimes, because I have issues with, once I'm done with you, I'm done with you. Period. I give you chance after chance, but once I'm done, I'm done. Mm-hmm. Ain't no recovering, ain't no coming back. You can go and stay where you at.
Right.
Friends, family, whoever, I don't give a fuck.
Accurate.
But the God is love thing. And then there was a verse about how God forgives us 70 times 7. Mm-hmm. I'm supposed to give you that much plus some.
Right.
I mean, you can forgive and still not keep them in your life. Those are two separate things.
Forgiveness is an act that you give yourself and not the other person.
Yeah, but
it's real hard to do because sometimes, bitch, you had me fucked up.
Okay.
Like, you had me fucked up. Like, you really had me fucked up, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to forgive you.
But again, it's for you. Mm-hmm. Because you're the one holding on to that. If it's, nah, bitch, fuck you.
Forgiveness is I release you.
Mm-hmm.
From my life and any power over any emotion, thoughts, whatever. Now, it's going to take some time.
Sure.
Because you still have to heal the thing.
Right.
But
if you're breaking it off with someone, they have done you wrong in some way.
I don't believe forgiveness happens in instantaneous. I feel like forgiveness happens in stages, and sometimes forgiveness takes years, like several years to actually process through. It's not something that like, okay, yeah, I forgive you, but I'm still pissed. Like, you're going to have to work through that. I'm still pissed. You may say you forgive them, but cool. But like, that's just the first part.
Because we almost 3 years in this thing. And every day is a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Some days, I love you so much. Mm-hmm. Other days,
oh, fuck you. Yeah. Fuck you, check up the deuces. Not with a sick one. My God. So
like it's a pendulum. Mm-hmm. And I realized, and then in those moments, I just have to, and I get, and that's where I understood the 70 times 7. Mm-hmm. Because it's ever changing, especially when you're learning to love somebody unconditionally. Because we're not born with that. Well, kids are, and then they're taught not to.
Yeah.
Because if you remember you as a kid with your parents before you realized that they were human, they could be doing some everything, but you come back and love them. Children
are a wonderful example of grace. A beautiful example of grace. Because when they say they forgive you, they really do. Mm-hmm. They really like, I forgive you. And then it's like
hold on to it.
They don't hold it at all.
It's because
they really mean it.
They're not weighed down by experience.
Yeah.
And past trauma.
And the world itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is why I hate that these kids these days don't get to just be kids, man. Mm-hmm. Like the luxury of a childhood.
You don't truly understand it until you're no longer a child.
Like it was just so much we didn't know and didn't understand and didn't have to understand. Because
there are bits and pieces of it. I think a lot of parents these days are giving children the tools to properly emote, and in that I can appreciate it, but they also have access to so much information.
So much that grows them up too fast.
My kids ain't getting no phone until they get to high school. It's not happening.
I can understand that with the way that social media is, and like these kids that are on social media, growing up way too fast in public.
If they do get a phone, it ain't gonna be no iPhone, and it's gonna be a
nice little jitterbug.
It's gonna be locked down. You ain't gonna be able to have access to nothing. No Instagram, no Twitter, no nothing.
God, I want to say that I would. I mean, they're not going to be my children,
right?
So it's your children. You do what you want.
I get what you're saying. I get to expose them to it and learn how to navigate it, but I don't want them to have it outside of the house.
I get that.
Where I can't.
I get that. However, it is alienating as hell, especially
as someone who grew up like that. Not because my mom took it from me, but because we just didn't have it. It is alienating and aloneness.
When you the only one,
and I had when I was at my home, all I had in my home was my brother and my sister.
But my 10-year-old ain't getting no goddamn Instagram.
No, I'm not saying that.
That's the alienating part, because these 10-year-olds, 10, 11, actually 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds have access to TikTok, Instagram.
Sure.
You're not getting it. Not at 7 or 8.
I mean, not at 7 or 8, but like I'm more so saying like being able to talk to your friend is astoundingly healing.
Oh no, for sure. But you're not doing it through no Instagram or no TikTok.
How else are they gonna do it?
You'll figure it out.
I mean, you still got phone calls.
Y'all can FaceTime each other from my phone. If you want to see something, you know what? That's the good thing about FaceTime is you can share your screen. And there's now a link you can send to Android phones where y'all can FaceTime.
I forgot about that. I always forget about that. And I used to have an Android.
I understand the need. I'm just saying it's a tough spot.
It's a really weird
I'd rather
thing to navigate.
I really would rather my child not have to be I know I can't help it especially if I decide they're going to a public school.
Yeah. Right.
I know that, or any school, I know that there's going to be exposure to some things.
Yeah.
I'm not too, aloof that I can't save them from everything.
Right.
But
if I can stop some of it,
it's completely understandable to want to protect your child's childness. So I mean, I get it.
I just want them to be kids for as long as they can. And if I can stop that until at least 13.
Yeah. I mean, and we got to hope that this world will allow for that, because it's not just the TikToks and the Instagrams. It's the facts.
It's the people you talk to, the people that surround you.
People that you talk to, the people. And also it's the facts that, not all the schools are safe.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Like the fact that there have been so many school shootings that people are just kind of like, oh, another one?
It reminds me a lot of that verse that said, you are in the world, but not of it. And a lot of times we are just struck with the fact that we are really in the world, but I don't understand it because I'm not of it.
Correct.
I don't understand why this kind of thing is occurring publicly, like in or throughout the world, and I have to realize that it's because I'm not of this world.
Yeah. And excuse me. And also, Tabitha Brown said something, and it's interesting that it hit me so hard, even though I don't have like my own children yet. She was just like, yeah, you birthed those children, but those aren't your children. They don't belong to you. God trusted you to be their guide while they're here on this earth, but they have their own assignment, their own purpose, and their own things of why they're here on this earth.
Yeah.
And it's for them to figure it out, but you just nurture and allow that to blossom into whatever God sees fit. But they're not yours. Right. So yeah, I can do what I can to guide them and keep them safe and do whatever, but
how they grow, how they develop,
and when God decides to call them home, it's up to him. And there's nothing we could do about that.
I feel like for me that would be so hard to accept, because I just want to. If I had kids, I just want you to live happy, healthy life, and I can't ultimately control that myself. Can't. And I challenges my need for control.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't want no kids. So
That's fair.
I'll just be, the one protecting.
Whooping people's ass.
For sure.
Because it's just so interesting because, again, like, we had such a unique experience growing up with the parents we had. We had one extreme and then the other. Mm-hmm. So we had my dad would be considered the corporal punishment parent. My mom would be considered a gentle parent. Ish, yeah. We would get whoopings from her too, but it would be like she would talk to us before and after.
Yeah.
The whooping, like, to kind of explain, like, why we got a whooping, what the purpose of the whooping was, how you cannot ever do that again, that kind of stuff. My dad was just, you ain't use common sense. It doesn't matter. So
whoop that
ass. Or if you ain't move quick enough. And so.
Or if I think that y'all broke something, even though none of you did.
I think my mother was a combination of both, but only because she had lived so many different lives with me. Mm-hmm. She was a different person at different stages of her life with me. So at one point she was corporal punishment. Like, you broke something, I'm gonna punch you directly in the chest and make you stop breathing. And then she would transition and flop the next time and be like, you know what, that was fucked up. Instead, let's talk about it.
That's confusing.
Yes.
Because
those signals. Eek.
I will be honest, it was a terrifying household to live in because you don't know what kind of parent my mom was going to be.
Mm-hmm. Same thing with our dad. We call him Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And he hates that we call him that because he doesn't see it that way. Again, another conversation for another day. There was a lot of good times with our dad. Like, we did a lot of fun stuff. But then it would abruptly shift. And we in trouble? What we did?
Right.
Like, I don't understand. Like,
right.
What had happened?
Like playing a board game.
I remember there was one time where my mom was mad because she was mad at me because I didn't side with her. She was in an argument with my sister. She got mad at me because I was like, I don't know what the answer was. I was 6.
Right.
She ripped a handle off the door of the fridge and beat me with it. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand what the fuck I did. I'm 6. You're having this argument with this child who was 7 years older than me. I wasn't even in the house. But now you're talking to me about this situation about parenting, and I'm 6. I don't even know how to parent my dolls.
Right. I mean, that's legit.
No, but that's legit.
That's legit.
Yeah. We're not going to go into details with mine. But, yeah. There's some fears and phobias because of the things, but we've gotten the cable cord.
Not a refrigerator handle. That's a new one.
No, that's a new one.
No, listen.
The fact that she ripped it off.
Yeah. No, listen. That scared the shit out of me.
That was a catch. She got some.
Yeah,
I remember it vividly. I'm like, what the fuck? The fridge.
She went Hulk on that.
She went the Hulk on that.
I was in the kitchen because I wanted Kool-Aid.
Right.
But then, it speaks to, like, people be like, how can God let this happen? How could God do this? And how can God do that? God didn't say the weapons wouldn't form.
He just said it wouldn't prosper.
He didn't say that we wasn't gonna have no problems. He didn't say. And then Aja from the Walls Group said this on the Terrell show. She was just like, sometimes more things happen to us because we choose to seek God. Because God can't use you if you ain't been through nothing.
Yeah.
And he has to develop your character so he can use you. He doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called.
This is where
I think people get stuck on
territory.
Yeah.
This particular territory is where I fall out from Christianity and sort of
it's the idea
God
of
aspect
is works in mysterious ways kind of thing. Why does God? I think people get stuck on why did the weapons have to form in the first place? Yeah,
but how do you learn if you don't? How do you learn without a little bit of adversity?
Oh, it was God. I am not God.
I don't
have the answer for it.
I think
because why does that make you fall out? Like, what is the issue with that statement?
Specifically from what she said, our lives are not for us. They are for other people. Disagree. I disagree with that.
That's not the part I'm talking about, but also we don't live for ourselves, we live for God and what God wants to do to use that.
Then what's the point?
What you mean, what's the point?
What? So if I am simply here to live for God, what's the point in that? Because that's not me living my life. That's me being a cog in the machine that is God's entertainment.
It sounds kind of like if I'm just giving and giving and giving and loving God, what else is there I'm supposed to be doing?
Right.
But again, you guys are thinking it's a thing of doing and not just being. Nobody said you couldn't live your life, but your life is a testament to how you feel and how you have relationship with God. That's up to you to determine. But again, you're thinking about it from a space of doing and not being.
Okay, but that means that I am being for God. And that's it?
I'm confused as to why you feel like there's nothing that you would get out of that. Like you're just doing it and doing it and doing it, and God's not going to bless you with the life that you desire.
But that's different. But because that's not the same as living my life for God. Because if I'm living my life for God, that seems singular. Mm-hmm. And linear and focused. But
then that's because you put it that way. God is not linear or focused.
I think more so.
He's so much bigger than that. And anything that you can fathom is bigger than that. So I guess for me, I'm not.
Okay, my point is I don't really vibe with the wording or with the phrasing of that.
I think when you say that you can be for God, or like your life is for God, your life is for many things. A lot of things, and one of those things can be for God too.
We're riding on semantics here because
the semantics are important because why? The devil's in the details.
Yeah.
So
again, it's the interpretation of man. So like if we're
and you guys are, because it seems as if you're saying, okay, I'm living for God, and then I can't have a fruitful and blessed life, because that's what he wants you to be. Yeah, he wants you to be fruitful, he wants you to be blessed, but he also wants you to be fruitful and bless others.
I don't think people see the conjoined how those things are together, because it's as you live your life and as you are able to bless and be a blessing, mm-hmm. you get that back tenfold. So it's never just I'm giving and giving and giving, and then I'm never receiving. There's blessings that we've had and that we continue to get that we're not even supposed to. Like that's why I'm like, I don't think of everything as linear. It's not just black and white. I'm not just living for God and then my life and my desires aren't being honored. I don't see it that way. I think we're focusing more so on the reward aspect than more so what it means to be.
Correct.
And again, you can be many, many things and still be for God. You can,
but that's the point. God knows that you're supposed to be many, many, many things.
Right.
Which is why it's, if you wanna think of it as a machine, okay, sure. Because everything that we do is not just for us. Mm-hmm. Because if it's just for you, then we all lose. Period. And unfortunately, because we're human, we're selfish as fuck. But thinking about our spirits, because our bodies, we're not going to be in these bodies forever. We're not. So our spirits leave, then what? Like, I don't know. I guess I don't think about the wording because I don't know. I guess as I've
The
developed more, I've understood that the interpretations that we've heard are not correct.
Yeah.
But also, there's truth to a lot of the words that we've heard.
Yeah.
They just suck at how they've decided to present it, because now it's almost presented in like a fear-based thing of like, well, if you don't follow these rules that we've told you that God kind of said that he didn't really say.
I think we get stuck on semantics because we're all struggling, or not necessarily struggling, but we're all experiencing spirituality differently. And we all, again, interpretation, with the words that we hear, the words that we see, the words that we pick up.
Because everybody don't, just like everybody can read the same Bible verse.
Exactly.
And interpret it in different ways.
And that's where we get stuck on semantics.
It doesn't mean that you're right or I'm right or she's right or nobody's right or wrong. It's just, how do you interpret it, and how is God telling you to navigate that interpretation? Period. And for me, when she said that, I was like, it is for me because God is speaking to me. So God's speaking to me, and I'm supposed to be obedient to how he spoke to me in order for me to show up and be who I'm supposed to be. It's a constant giving. I don't want to say give and take, but like it's a constant giving cycle. God, I give because I appreciate and I understand how God is blessing me or showing up for me and speaking to me. And then in turn, he blesses me because I'm being obedient. So I don't know, but we're going to be here all day.
We can honestly talk about spirituality for a very long time.
For a long periodically time.
However, this was still New Age. And there are, again, other factors beyond and other practices beyond just
beyond the experience that we've had with Christianity.
With Christianity, and I've found, at least for me personally, that some of those work better. At least for me. Yeah, because if I take capital G God out of the situation, all it is me being kind, being good, putting out that good energy, and I get it back. And it's not a obedient thing. It's not a seeking after some entity. I'm living my life trying to be a positive influence.
And I'll be honest with you, God delights in that.
Great.
God does
and
delight.
I don't feel like I need to have a God in that. It's just, there's been way too much.
There's a lot of experiences that people come to with experiencing spirituality or whatever the fuck. And God is way bigger than whatever box we put him in. He still loves to see his people live their lives. Whether or not you have some relationship with him, that's on you. But he still loves to see you do it. He loves to see you doing your do. That's it.
I get what you're saying.
And you can disagree with it. That's perfectly fine. I'm just letting you know on these, on this 34th year of my circulation around the sun.
I just think that it's, I don't know, but yeah, I get it. I think that with you thinking so much into the semantics, you're missing the higher entity of it all, which is God.
According to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure. Again, I have stepped back and looked at at least in my mind, the bigger picture for myself.
No one can really take that from you because your worldview.
I ain't gonna try.
I don't live in your shoes.
I ain't gonna try.
But it's good to have these talks about things, especially to see perspectives. One of the people that I've watched on TikTok, like they have a podcast about, talking to people that are like outside of the church, or like they were talking to an atheist. And one of the people who was, because they're very like anti like church establishment, they are very much so the like, I'm going to have a relationship with God, I'm going to be good. One of them said, Christians don't like to converse unless they convert.
I've experienced that before. And as someone who came from a church that was built to make other people convert others, I know that is true.
Because they're not going to sit down and talk about another religion.
I have before.
Yeah, you're not one of those. You actually question and you think. A lot of, the old heads don't do that.
And also because of, again, the construct of these are the bylaws of Baptist, Presbyterian, Kojic, Pentecostal, all that. They think that that's the construct that God wants us to live under.
Which is wild because they come from Catholicism.
And it goes back to Michael Todd's statement. We delight in what Jesus in understanding Jesus, but not the messages that he was preaching.
Right.
He wasn't preaching about none of the when you go to church you're supposed to wear a dress. Women are supposed to do this. Most of his messages came through women in the first place. But again, we're running out of time.
Also, he said, "Come as you are." But
that's what he said.
Period.
Mary Magdalene was a hoe.
She sure was.
And she was right there with him. See, I got a little ratchet for that. And Jesus went into the church and flipped the tables over.
Period. Right there.
It sure is what just happened.
He went and flipped the tables over. But anyway, y'all know I can be on my soapbox all day. So anywho, we gonna move on because it's time to go. Okay?
Is it time?
It's time.
It's time for Music of the Week. Hey, Music of the Week. Hey, Music of the Week. Music of the Week.
Hey.
I pop my TVs every week. Don't do that. Go first.
So, my song of the week is going to be "If I Be Wrong" by Wolf Larson, because
Y'all been throwing out some songs I ain't never heard of.
I know.
It's because you just.
It's too much. It's too much music. So when somebody tells me about music, I just pull it and I listen to it.
Yeah, I know.
Understand.
Listen, you listen to gospel and or hip hop.
First of all, don't do my R&B like that.
You are not going to diminish my musical sister.
Because I was going to say, I listen to everything, okay, except heavy metal. I just haven't, in this day and age, I just haven't sought out new music if I don't follow those people.
Sorry, so it's gospel, R&B, and hip hop. And
musicals. And Disney.
We
don't do me, okay?
And you listen to country.
I love country. Don't do that.
Okay.
We love
except
music.
for Luke Combs.
No, I actually really do like country.
Except for Luke Combs, what have you listened to recently?
That's new?
That's country.
Braylon.
Really?
Braylon. Don't Touch My Truck is my shit.
I was just listening to like Redheaded Woman.
Don't Touch My Truck. But my favorite song is Red High Heels. It's on my Friday playlist. That's my shit. That's my shit. Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, so I chose that song because it's a song about a lot of questions that I personally have been going through. I'm in a very weird introspective period in my life. And that song has a lot of questions that I have for myself.
Oh my.
Important.
So it was real heavy.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go on.
What had happened was I'm currently people been dropping new music in my gospel realm. Shut up.
Interesting.
First of all, let's take a little sidebar. Chloe's album In Pieces showed up on my recently added, and she doing a Beyonce thing. It's the only tracks that are showing, like the track list that's showing,
are the ones that are
already out.
Yeah.
So
Listen,
pray it away. Y'all ain't. I told y'all. Have Mercy and all that. I don't think it's gonna be on here.
They're just singles.
I will say I was disappointed with that release that was with Chris Brown.
I wasn't disappointed in it.
I was disappointed because I wanted it to be sexy and it was sad.
Oh, you wanted it.
Gotcha.
I wanted it to be sexy.
It was a sprinkle of sexy.
It was the
video for sure.
I want the song to be about sex. I want to hear about sucking dick.
With those two, I mean that's fair.
All right, but we just said sucking dick, and I'm about to do a gospel song. My God, today.
You sure? I mean, and that was just a sucking dick sandwich because we just talked about spirituality. But okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jesus.
So anyway, the song is called "Smooth." Jonathan McReynolds, sweetheart, fight me. Okay? That album was amazing. I haven't finished Four Walls yet. Walls Group just dropped yesterday. But
Sure did.
They did. And so far, it's amazing. Stevie Wonder only played the harmonica. He didn't sing. So.
Stevie said, I'm tired.
I mean, to be fair, he's been around for many decades.
Decades. Okay, go ahead. What about you?
Okay, I'm gonna make this real quick because I have 3. Shut up. Anyway, so I'm gonna blame Rico Love on this.
Show.
Let
the record show. It's only one
I don't give
song, and we do not have any more time.
Okay, I'm sorry. You just brought up a whole bunch of shit about your gospel. Really?
I said one fucking song.
Okay, after talking about Chloe's album, like we're talking about the Walls Group.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much. So I'm gonna blame Rico Love for this one because I was reminded.
You don't find any excuse.
I was reminded that motivation exists by Kelly Rowland featuring Lil Wayne, and then I was reminded of Without Me, which is Fantasia, Missy, and Kelly, and then that popped into Collard Greens and Cornbread by Fantasia. It was back to back to back. That I know they're all good, and I couldn't just say one.
Yes, you could have.
No, I couldn't have. Fuck off.
He never wants to do one song, and I don't understand.
I regularly do. I just did one song last week, and the week before that.
The only reason you did that for the Grammys one was because you was just like, fuck it. Y'all didn't respect her, and I couldn't think of nothing else.
And then I did one the week before that.
He struggles, y'all.
No,
we have to literally sometimes remind him it's one song.
No, I don't.
Anyway, this has been another episode of Code Switching Naturally.
Turn your microphone on.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Tell your mama now.
We do have a link tree in our Instagram link. But
we have a TikTok. It's gonna have more videos on there soon, but for right now, it's on there too.
But yeah, guys. This is a good conversation. But yeah, until next time, be black, be beautiful, be humble. Bye.
Bye.